Welcome back to another episode of Efficio's Transforming Public Procurement Microcast series, where we're continuing to help you get up to speed with the new Procurement Act regulations. I'm Jack Jeffries and sit within Efficio's public sector practice. I'll be your new host for the next 10 weeks, and this will be a bit like apprentice turned successor, as today I'm joined by former host Yehui to discuss the Procurement Review Unit. Welcome, Yehui. So what exactly is the Procurement Review Unit, firstly, for those that may not be familiar?
Hi, Jack. Great to be your first guest speaker. Yes, so the Procurement Review Unit, or PRU for short, is a new unit within the Cabinet Office and became operational alongside the launch of the Procurement Act last month. It has responsibility for oversight of public procurement and will engage with contracting authorities across all sectors and suppliers with the aim to raise standards in public procurement, ensuring that the changes introduced by the Act become adopted practice.
Okay, great. That makes sense. So what exactly is the PRU made up of then?
Well, it's made up of three things, and bear with me, it's a acronym soup. So the first one, PPRS, Public Procurement Review Service, and this was already introduced in 2011. It focuses on suppliers' complaints about specific procurements and late payments. It can make recommendations to contracting authorities with the aim to improve standards, which can lead to live procurements being adjusted or reviewed. And then we have the PCS, which is the Procurement Compliance Service. This service investigates contracting authorities' compliance with the requirements of the Act and may issue and publish statutory recommendations to the authority being investigated or issue guidance that applies more generally to buyers following the conclusion of an investigation. And lastly, my favorite one, the Debarment Review Service, DRS. This service aims to protect public money from suppliers who pose risks by conducting investigations into suppliers, whether they're already excluded or excludable suppliers, and whether they should be added to the public debarment list. And yes, they do manage the list.
Okay, that's clear, but definitely a lot of new acronyms. The Procurement Compliance Service is an interesting one that you mentioned. Do we know exactly what their scope is?
Yeah, so the PCS covers both central and wider public sector contracting authorities, such as NHS, local government, universities. The PCS will also utilize their statutory powers under Part 10 of the Act to carry out investigations into a relevant contracting authority's compliance with the Act.
Okay, and I suppose it's a bit more holistic then.
Oh yeah, definitely. So rather than specific procurements, the PCS will focus on systemic non-compliance issues. So for example, where it's common across multiple contracting authorities, and institutional, i.e. it's made repeatedly by one particular contracting authority.
Okay, so what about an investigation then?
An investigation may involve reviewing information and or speaking with individuals involved in the procurement to understand the cause of the issue. And the findings and recommendations will be captured and published on gov.uk.
That's really interesting. So it almost sounds like a procurement-focused national audit office and definitely will provide a thorough lessons learned view for teams before they embark on a procurement. Thanks, Yehui. That was a really great overview of the PRU and the benefits it'll bring by having oversight of the new regime and a focus on early identification and rectification of systemic and institutional breaches. I hope everyone's enjoyed today's microcast. Please do post any thoughts or questions in the chat. As always, get in touch with Yehui and myself for future topics you want to hear about. We'll see you soon.